Today, we're diving into Elvis Presley's amazing car collection. I'll show you 15 cars that the king loved, and your job is to guess what each car is. Keep track of your score, and don't forget to share how you did in the comments. Let's see how many of these iconic rides you can recognize. Ready? Let's get started. Car 1. All right, let's kick things off with a classic. This car is super famous because Elvis had it painted pink, and it became one of his most iconic rides. Is it a 1955 Cadillac Fleetwood Series 60, a 1956 Chevrolet Bel Air, or a 1957 Ford Fairlane? If you guessed the 1955 Cadillac Fleetwood Series 60, you're spot on. Elvis loved this car so much that it became known as the Pink Cadillac. He even gifted it to his mom, though she didn't have a driver's license. It's now one of the most famous cars associated with Elvis. Car 2. Next up, we've got another Caddy, but this one's got a bit more flash. Elvis had this convertible customized, and it's one of the most recognizable cars from his collection. Is it a 1957 Pontiac Bonneville, a 1958 Buick Special, or a 1955 Cadillac Eldorado? It's the 1955 Cadillac Eldorado. Elvis had this car painted a custom pink color, similar to his other Cadillac. This car was all about style. Car 3. This car was one of Elvis' favorites, and he actually owned several of them over the years. It's got a really unique look with lots of luxury details. Is it a 1973 Stutz Blackhawk 3, a 1972 Lincoln Continental, or a 1971 Cadillac Eldorado? If you picked the 1973 Stutz Blackhawk 3, you're right. Elvis was the first person in America to own this model, and he loved its combination of classic style and modern luxury. This car even had 18-karat gold trim. How's that for fancy? Car 4. Elvis picked up this next car while he was stationed in Germany. It's a little different from the big American cars he usually went for. Is it a 1957 BMW 507? A 1956 Mercedes-Benz 300 SL, or a 1958 Porsche 356. If you guessed the 1957 BMW 507, nice job. This was one of Elvis's favorite rides during his time in Germany. He even had it painted red, after he got tired of fans writing notes in lipstick all over the original white paint. Car 5. Now, this car was the ultimate status symbol back in the day. Elvis loved it for its luxury and style. Is it a 1970 Mercedes-Benz 600, a 1969 Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow, or a 1971 Lincoln Continental? It's the 1970 Mercedes-Benz 600. This car was a favorite among celebrities and world leaders. Elvis used his to cruise around Las Vegas in style, and it was one of the most luxurious cars of its time. Car 6. Here's a big, flashy car that Elvis used for his tours. It was decked out with all sorts of cool features. Is it a 1959 Lincoln Continental, a 1961 Chrysler Imperial, or a 1960 Cadillac Series 75 limousine? It's the 1960 Cadillac Series 75 limousine. You got it! This limo was customized with a TV, a radio, and even a bar. Elvis used it a lot during his tours, making it one of the most famous limos he owned. Car 7. This car has got a really clean, classic look. Is it a 1970 Cadillac Seville, a 1976 Buick Electra, or a 1978 Oldsmobile 98? It's the 1977 Cadillac Seville. Elvis bought this car just months before he passed away. It's a simple yet stylish car that shows how much he loved Cadillacs right up to the end. Car 8. This one's a bit different. It's a sports car that Elvis bought, but there's a wild story about it. Is it a 1971 De Tomaso Pantera, a 1972 Ferrari 365, or a 1970 Lamborghini Miura? It's the 1971 De Tomaso Pantera. Elvis bought this car as a gift for his girlfriend, but when it wouldn't start one day, he actually shot it in frustration. True story. Car 9. Here's another Mercedes, but this one's even bigger and was used by Elvis for more formal occasions. Is it a 1968 Jaguar XJ12, a 1970 Rolls-Royce Corniche, or a 1969 Mercedes-Benz 600 Pullman? If you guessed the 1969 Mercedes-Benz 600 Pullman, you got it. This was the limo version, and it was often used by Elvis when he needed to make a grand entrance. It's a car fit for a king. Car 10. Now we've got a classic American sports car that Elvis loved for its speed and style. Is it a 1964 Ford Mustang, a 1966 Shelby Cobra, or a 1965 Chevrolet Corvette Stingray? It's the 1965 Chevrolet Corvette Stingray. This car was a real head-turner with its sleek design and powerful engine. Elvis was a big fan of its performance on the road. Car 11. This is one of the earliest cars Elvis owned, and it set the stage for his lifelong love of the brand. Is it a 1954 Cadillac Series 62, a 1955 Buick Roadmaster, or a 1956 Chrysler New Yorker? If you picked the 1954 Cadillac Series 62, you're right. This was one of the first Cadillacs Elvis bought when he started making it big. It's where his obsession with the brand began. Car 12. This next car shows that Elvis had a taste for Italian sports cars too. Is it a 1976 Ferrari Dino 308 GT4, a 1977 Lamborghini Countach, or a 1975 Maserati Bora? If you guessed the 1976 Ferrari Dino 308 GT4, you're on the money. This car was one of the few Ferraris Elvis owned. It wasn't just about looks. This car could really move, with a V8 engine under the hood. Car 13. Here's a rare one. Elvis had this car customized because he needed something with a little more space. Is it a 1974 Cadillac station wagon, a 1973 Buick Estate wagon, or a 1975 Oldsmobile Vista Cruiser? If you picked the 1974 Cadillac station wagon, great job. This car wasn't something you'd find at the dealership. Elvis had it custom built for him, making it truly one of a kind. Car 14. Here's something a bit different. This tiny car was a quirky addition to Elvis' collection. Is it a 1956 BMW Isetta, a 1957 Fiat 500, or a 1955 Messerschmitt KR200? It's the 1955 Messerschmitt KR200. This microcar was originally designed by a German aircraft manufacturer. Elvis was fascinated by its unusual design and loved driving it around Graceland as a fun, small ride. Car 15. We're ending on a classic note with one of Elvis's favorite luxury rides. Is it a 1977 Cadillac Eldorado Biarritz, a 1976 Lincoln Continental, or a 1975 Chrysler Imperial LeBaron? If you picked the 1977 Cadillac Eldorado Biarritz, you're right on. This was one of the last cars Elvis bought. The Eldorado Biarritz was a luxurious and stylish car that represented the peak of 70s American car design. Elvis loved its comfort and classic Cadillac feel, making it a fitting car to round off his incredible collection. That's all for today's quiz. How many of Elvis's favorite cars did you recognize? Let me know your score in the comments, and if you enjoyed this quiz, be sure to like the video and subscribe for more fun car quizzes. See you next time.